Alright, I'll come around, like I said, snap your bell ringer as long as you have all your stuff ready. And your bell ringer done. Yep, today's Wednesday. But it's okay if you did it on Tuesday. Make sure you write your original courses down. Alright, hey guys. Alright, number 10 has the bell ringer today.
Okay. So, excuse me. Says y equals negative x. So I just did that, and I got -4, -2, 5, 2, nope, -7, 6.
Got that.
Alright,
Thanks.
awesome. So Maddox explained it as he was going along. Dylan, tell us, do you agree or disagree with his answers?
I agree.
Yeah, perfect. So the rule for y equals negative x is opposite of b, opposite of a, which means you flip them and change both of their signs. What questions do you have for us on the bell ringer?
I know.
Can I erase it?
Are y'all okay if he erases that?
No.
I'll leave this.
Alright, thank you. The next thing is your 5.1 quiz. I need you to look over it and see if you have any questions on your 5.1 quiz.
Will this affect our grade a lot?
Quizzes are worth 35% of your grade.
When this did open up,
I think 13. Normally I make like 19 or 20.
would you make it?
I'm like a genius in
Maybe like a 20.
For some reason this semester.
Yes.
This with me?
Calculator.
After this quiz, can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah, kind of party.
Do you know if they hand out waters? I'm about to go into dehydration formation.
Figure out the numbers.
What?
Also, if you just made up this quiz yesterday, I have not gotten it graded.
I got one to get the gun
You don't need to do it today. Today's the last day.
That might be a problem.
You can stay in here during advisory.
Okay.
Well, my grade is not going to be very good.
I'm gonna find it out.
Alright, after looking over your quiz, what questions do you have for me about your quiz?
Well, I made 100, so nothing.
I actually made a 13. Normally I make 100s in here.
I think she cheated you.
I made
I made it 12, so tell me how I cheat.
Hey, Simon, 13. Get smart.
Huh?
Last Wednesday.
I made stupid mistakes on this test.
You need to come in today and make it up. You
Oh
can
my
stay in here
gosh.
during advisory and do it. It shouldn't take you very long.
Is it hard?
I took the ACT in 2 weeks.
I hope so.
What's it over? Do you have to take the ACT?
No.
Do what?
Do you have to take the ACT?
If you plan on going to college, you do.
Well, heck, I haven't took it, and I'm probably gonna go. Oh, I know I'm gonna go.
I haven't taken it.
Alright, so what about your
Something like a
5.2?
6 on it.
What about your 5.2 practice assignment on big ideas math?
I would say that was pretty simple.
Did anyone have any questions on it?
Well, I made a 73%,
I actually.
and I skipped one.
Man, good job.
On your big ideas assignments,
I accidentally turned it in.
Except
right?
for baby girl code.
on your big ideas assignment, there's 2 reasons I want you to go through and check your work. Hey guys. There's 2 reasons I want you to go back and check your answers and see which ones you missed, so that way, one reason is so that way you don't make those same mistakes again on the quiz. The second reason is because sometimes big ideas will make mistakes and count stuff wrong that they shouldn't have. For instance, first hour, someone noticed that there were problems on there where it said just graph the image. It did not tell you to graph the pre-image, and usually, if you were to graph the image and the pre-image on those, it would count it wrong. But this time, it counted it wrong if you only graphed the image. So it kind of went back on its word of what it usually does. So and if you're ever going over your work and you think that something should be counted right, you need to take a screenshot of it and email it to me and say, hey, Ms. Goodman, would you please check over this? And because I think I got the right answer. I don't see why they counted it wrong. And I'll check over it. If you got it wrong, I'll email you back and say why you got it wrong. And if you got it right, I can go in there and fix it and give you your points.
Because you're Miss Good.
Yeah.
You're like the Jesus of big math idea.
Okay. So make sure every time you submit a big ideas assignment, go back and check the ones you missed. For one, so you don't make those same mistakes again. But also in case big ideas made a mistake and counted it wrong when it
Freaking
shouldn't have.
big ideas.
Which very well could happen because I'm smarter than big ideas.
I mean, it's a computer. So.
I actually created big ideas.
My little girl told me if there ain't no fish in sea, I'll go fishing.
All right. What questions do you have before we start our quiz?
Nah.
All right. So we're going to take our quiz. Remember, absolutely no talking or making noises during the quiz. When you're finished, you're going to turn the quiz in to me, and I'm going to give you the notes. However, we're not going to start on the notes right away. First thing you're going to do is watch this video on Google Classroom. So, and that's while you're waiting on everybody else to finish the quiz. You just need to watch the video. Just watch it, pay attention. You don't have to do anything. And then when everybody's done, we'll take notes.
Do we have any homework today?
You shouldn't.
Well, we finished the notes.
We have.
How many questions? 3.
You'll see as soon as you get it.
Alexis.
All right, Tyler, can I get you to move back to number 16, please?
Oh, I need this probably out of the way, don't I?
Simon, cheat on you. Cheat off you today.
Are we taking it online or is that it right there?
This is it. Can I get you to move to number 13, please? Brady,
Yes,
can I get
ma'am.
you to sit in this black seat that's back there at the table, please? Yes, let's get it all the way up here. Oh, guys, and during the quiz, notice I have the rules on the board for x-axis, y-axis, y equals x, and
Well,
y
you're
equals
just a
negative
nice
x.
person for that.
This one right here.
Oh my gosh. Freaking love you.
Dylan, you better not be peeking behind me.
Sierra, will you scoot up the seat, please? Damon, will you scoot back a little bit, please?
You know what? I sure will.
If there's no
Maddie,
business,
will you sit at
No
this
business.
other black seat at the table, please?
Sure.
that's smart.
Actually, Damon, you were good. Scoot back up. Adam, will you scoot your seat back, please?
Miss Goodman, I know your pattern here. You zigzag us.
Oh, really? Really smart one.
You
I
zigzag.
secondary could figure that out.
You zigzag so we can look straight across this other person's paper.
All right. Everything off your desk except for pencil and calculator. No talking out on your own paper. Tyler, I'm going to give you theirs. So please do some, please. I think that's fine.
I hope I don't fail this.
Watch Damon, he's a cheater.
Someone just sent me a.
Tyler's like the alpha squirrel.
he's like
I love you, Tyler.
I love you too.
he's like the squirrel from squirrel.
Thank you.
He has the welcome. He connects the most.
Seth, don't move. There's something black on your sleeve.
Cool heart. Thank you. That's good.
Alright, so Alexis, you'll just be working on the quiz. When you're done, you'll turn it into Mr. Allen. You can just use your pencil and calculator on it. And then you should also have the notes that we're going to be taking.
Is it okay whenever we do the reflection twist, write it right underneath the original ones?
Yes. Alright, let's go ahead and close our Chromebooks. It's okay if you did not finish the video.
We're done a minute before that center's done.
Are we doing the notes together?
Yes. Alright, you need to get out your notes so that way we can take notes.
We really do be driving now.
Alright, so we just finished 5.1, which was translations, which was just moving a figure across a coordinate plane. We also did 5.2, which is reflections, and those are just, you just flip them. And then 5.3 is rotations. Rotations means you turn them. Okay, so a rotation is a turn. Alright, so first, you need to label or know some familiar terms, be familiar with some vocab terms. And the first thing is your center of rotation. So if you look here at this picture, there's this point P on it. I need you to label that point P center of rotation. That's how you can move back up here to your sign. See?
Let's stay back here.
I like the new camera point of view.
Okay. So center of rotation. Center of rotation.
I'm good, man. I just now found those.
This is like my assigned seat right here.
I've seen that like.
I don't know, I just watched
Just like
that.
watch everyone.
Alright, so what the center of rotation is. For instance, right here on the flagpole, this is a flag, and they have it attached to the end of a pole, and they're holding that pole and they're turning it like this. Okay, that means right here, where my hands are, is the center of rotation. Okay, now let me show you with a ruler the difference that the center of rotation makes. Let's say that the center of rotation is right here in the middle. Okay, center of rotation is right here. Alright, so what happens is, that point is a fixed point, the center of rotation is fixed, so it's just turning like this. Okay, so
So the
that's,
center of rotation will be your fingers.
yes.
Duh.
That's
Now-
neat.
Now I'm going to make the center of rotation right here. What did you notice happens?
The circle got bigger.
It got way bigger.
Yeah, the circle got a lot bigger. It pretty much got double in size.
Yeah.
So depending on where your center of rotation is, depends on how it looks. For us, our center of rotation, it's always going to be on a coordinate plane, and I've got it always about the origin. Okay, so that's the only one we're going to deal with. And we're only going to deal with certain degrees. The angle of rotation is how many degrees it rotated. For instance, if it went from here to here, that's about 40 degrees rotation. Yes, sir.
Can I start my pencil? It's dull.
So that's your angle of rotation. So right there where it says 40 degrees and it has this arrow, I need you to label that angle of rotation. Okay, so right here is your angle of rotation.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, don't pay attention to that extra mark there. Alright, so that's the angle of rotation. Okay, so for us, 0 degrees degrees on your coordinate plane is gonna start like right here, like this, the positive x-axis, that's 0. And then the positive y-axis, that's 90 degrees. It makes a 90-degree angle with the original. Okay, 180 makes a straight line. 270 makes a 270-degree angle. Okay, and 360 is just right back to the original spot. So we're just going to deal with 90, 180, and 270. Okay, so those are the only 3 rotations we're going to do. All right, so before we actually do rotations, you need to write the rules down. Notice over there on teacher notes, you're going to have to fill in the blank with the rule. And then on the other side, on student notes, we have to put it in our own words.
What are we putting, which one, on number 1?
Yes, we're about to. All right, coordinate rules for rotations about the origin. Says when a point AB is rotated counterclockwise about the origin, the following are true. Okay. For a rotation of 90 degrees, AB becomes opposite of B, comma A. So right here it says opposite of B, comma A. That needs to go with 90 degrees. That's number 1. And then, you know how we put it in our own words on the last section? We're going to do that with this section also. What would this mean to do?
That would mean,
Change the
x-axis.
Change the X.
What do you mean by change the
Change
X?
the sign of the X. Or
No, it's to change the position of X and Y and then change the position of Y. Or like change the sign
Sign of Y.
of Y.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Okay, so these can get a little confusing because you flip X and Y, but you change the sign of Y, which is now your new X. Okay, so the way to make that as least confusing as possible, how I would do it is I would say change the sign of Y. So for number 1, in your own words, you need to write change the sign of Y.
Oh, sorry. I was coloring.
Change the sign of Y, then flip X and Y. I would change the sign first. So change the sign of Y, then flip X and Y. Change the sign of Y,
How do
then
you spell
flip
Y?
X and Y.
Ah.
Okay? Alright, for a 180-degree rotation,
Change the sign of Y and what?
then flip X and Y.
Y.
Why are you doing those, Tyler? You're gonna lose them anyway.
What are you mean?
Alright, for a 180-degree rotation, AB becomes opposite of A, opposite of B. Opposite of A, opposite of B.
Opposite of A, opposite of B. Got it.
What does that mean to do? Change the sign of
Change
what?
both signs.
X and Y.
Change the,
both signs.
change both signs. Change the sign of X and change the sign of Y. Is there any flipping?
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes, there is flipping.
Yes, there is.
For 180, they're flipping the sign.
There ain't no flipping.
David, it's alright, you lost.
And the last one,
Take it.
I will take it. Like
I'm taking it as it comes.
Take it like a champ.
I will.
for a rotation of 270 degrees, AB becomes B comma opposite of A, or B comma negative A.
So change the sign of X and flip X and Y.
Perfect. Change the sign of X, then flip X and Y. Change the sign of
Well
X,
done with
then
notes.
flip X and Y.
Turn it into
Alright,
Up.
let's do an actual example. Alright, now remember, this one's a teacher model, so I do this one on my own, and you just pay attention and write it down. It says, Graph quadrilateral RSTU with vertices R3, 1, S5, 1, T5, -3, and U2, -1. Then rotate the quadrilateral 270 degrees about the origin.
Alright,
so, First, you need to graph RSTU. Now that we know about vectors, you can treat ordered pairs like vectors. They just start from the origin. So +3, +1 would mean start at the origin and go to the right 3 and up 1. 5, 1 means go to the right 5 and up 1. 5, -3 means go to the right 5 and down 3.
Monkey run on ground work.
And U, 2, -1 means go to the right 2 and down 1.
It looks like an odd shaped quadrilateral.
You look like an
I have a question for you, Miss Goodman.
Yes, sir.
How did you learn all this stuff? Like, my brain's hurting with one lesson.
A lot of practice.
dummy.
A lot of practice.
And if you go to college, you also learn to put your phone in the caddy.
All right, it says 270 degrees for a 270 degree rotation. I need to go back and look at my rules.
No, you don't. You just. What did you
It's
remember?
B, -A.
270 is B, -A. Okay, so I'm going to write that down, B, -A. And that means to change the sign of X and then flip your coordinates. Now, what I do is I go through here on R, S, T, and U, and I change the sign of X at the very beginning. So I make that a -3, a -5, another -5, and then a -2. Okay?
Simple.
Then I flip them. So R prime would become 1, -3.
What?
S prime would become 1, -5. T prime would become -3, -5. And U prime would become -1, -2. Okay. Now you go through and plot these points. 1, -3 would be to the right 1, down 3.
I've already got them all.
That's a pretty sight. Everyone's as smart as you.
So we should be don't care.
Do?
1, -5 would be to the right 1, down 5.
This is what it should look like.
T is -3, -5. And U is -1, -2. Okay, and then you draw your quadrilateral.
I've been known to freehand some pretty straight lines in my day.
And there is your rotation of 270 degrees. It should look exactly the same, and pretty much what it should look like is, it looks like you should have put your pencil right here on the origin and turned your paper 270 degrees. So like this 0 degree axis, you would rotate it, there would be 90, there would be 180, there would be 270.
Well, look, if you just do this, it looks like the same shape.
Yes, if you rotate your paper 270 degrees, it should look like the same shape.
If you rotate it 360, it looks like an odd shape.
What questions do you have for me?
None.
When you go today?
Not yet. Still got 10 minutes.
Who keeps on joining?
Mine is fine.
Alright, let's go ahead and try one together. Is everyone okay if I move on?
Yes, mine.
So did you change the position of the camera so I could be on it?
Oh, I just put it in a new spot because I was directly in front of it.
What if,
I'm so
Whenever-
tired of being on there.
what if we don't
It
do
gets tired
it?
being on a show sometimes. That's why Juice WRLD is dead.
Guys, look at the
It's
camera.
not dead.
Miss Goodman,
Yes.
what
Okay.
if, okay, see this one? It
No.
doesn't tell us which way to turn it.
That's because I have it right up here.
What I'm
Because she didn't want
saying,
us to work ahead.
what I'm saying is, what if it tells us to turn it 270 again, alright? you just turn it and then do the same,
What if I'm saying you
do
shut
the
up?
same old, things that's on
Shut-
there,
sh-
and you got the
shut up.
same shape.
Shut
You should. Yeah, it'll tell you where your new word should look like when you're done. Alright, it says graph triangle JKL with vertices J, K, and L. Rotate the triangle 90 degrees about the origin. So first you plot the original. So first you plot 3, 0. Now I can't remember, would that be on the x-axis or y-axis?
X.
Monkey run ninja.
Okay, so there's J, K is at 4, 3, and L is at 6, 0.
Dude, if everyone uses the monkey tactic, you will never forget.
Okay?
I actually helped me.
Alright, now it says 90 degrees about the origin. And now I've got to go back and look at my rule. Maddox, can you help me? What was the rule for 90 degrees?
Monkey on.
What was the first one? Change the sign of Y, then flip X and Y.
Okay, so what would that be? B, negative B comma A?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you said change the sign of Y, then flip your X and Y. So go through J, K, and L and change the sign of Y. Do we have negative 0?
You sure don't, it
No.
stays right where
It
it
just
is.
stays 0, and then that becomes a negative 3, and that stays 0. And then I flip them. So J prime. What would be my coordinates of J prime, Linnea? Yeah, we just flip it. Perfect. What about K prime, Alexis? Yes.
It would be negative 3, 4.
Perfect. And then what about L prime,
That's me.
Seth?
That, my lady, would be 06.
Awesome. And now I need to grab 0, 3. Would that be on the X or the Y?
Nothing on the Y.
That would be on the y-axis. There's J prime. K prime is negative 3, 4. And L prime is 0, 6. Now, when you're finished, it should look like the exact same shape. It should just look like that you turned your paper 90 degrees counterclockwise. So it should look like your 0 axis got moved up to the 90 degree axis, which is up here. Okay? All right. Now that we've done 2 problems, what questions do you have for me?
Wait,
Is it?
Want me done for the day?
so if it's 270, you turn it this way. If it's 90, you turn it this way.
No, always turn it counterclockwise. We're only doing counterclockwise.
So we don't have to do any clockwise stuff.
We're not doing any clockwise. We're just doing counterclockwise because I don't want to confuse everybody doing the different ways.
I don't know
But-
which way clockwise is.
Clockwise is like reading the clock the right way, but 90 degrees clockwise is just really 270
I
counterclockwise.
agree with clock.
All right,
Like this
tomorrow. Listen carefully. Tomorrow, we're going to finish these notes, and you're also going to have to do an assignment in your student journal. So make sure you have your student journal tomorrow. You have about 5 minutes left, so after you turn in your calculator and get your phone, have a seat in your assigned seat, and we'll wait for the bell.
It'll come